So you're back and you want to talk about moving to Wilsonville, Oregon. So today we're going to do a pros and cons about what Wilsonville, Oregon has to offer and really what it doesn't. Wilsonville was established in 1880. It's a very old piece of Clackamas County. To the north of Wilsonville, it is part of Washington County, so it is dual counties. Interesting to know when you are wanting to move here what that would look like. So it started out as Boone's Landing out in 1880 because the Willamette River goes through Wilsonville and there's a landing, like a boat dock landing, and that's where the ferry was, and that's how you got Wilsonville, Oregon. Today we're going to talk about the good, the bad, and why I would move to Wilsonville, Oregon, or why I wouldn't. I'm really glad you're back. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you ding the bell, make sure you hit the like button. Let's talk today about moving to Wilsonville, Oregon. Let's go. My name is Maren Paldy with Paldy Homes, and I'm really glad you're back. Today we're going to again discuss about the pros and cons of Wilsonville. This part of this channel is everything that's important about moving to Oregon and real estate in Oregon. I love that you're here. No matter if you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, make sure you shoot me a text, send me an email, call me. Let's set up a Zoom. Let's talk about moving to Wilsonville, Oregon, or really anywhere in Oregon. But today we're going to concentrate on Wilsonville. I grew up in Clackamas County. I know this county well. I know Wilsonville well. I'm excited to share what I think are the good, the bad, and the ugly of Wilsonville. But if you stick around, I'm going to tell you a very little known secret about Wilsonville. That's kind of cool, especially if you move there. So make sure you hit the subscribe, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, set up a Zoom. Let's talk about Wilsonville, Oregon. But until then, let's get this started and you can see what my thoughts are about the pros and cons of Wilsonville, Oregon. My number one pro for Wilsonville is its size. In 2021, it had 26,500 people, still has a very small town vibe, and I love that. And there's lots of opportunities for people to keep that small town vibe in a big county. So my number one pro, like I said, is its size. Small area, smaller, just a small town feel, which I love. So my number one con then is that people are flocking to Wilsonville, and there's a lot more growth and a lot more, a lot of houses being built there. So the density is getting more dense, and the density is definitely filling up. So I think the pro is that it keeps its small town feel. One of the cons is that there's a lot of people moving there, which could skew that balance and could make it more of a bigger city. Pro number two for me is the schools. It's a 5A school, Wilsonville High School. It's great. There's one high school in Wilsonville, so it's got an amazing theater program. They're building onto it. They're just expanding the school. It has an excellent athletic program, and the academics there are top-notch. So Wilsonville is part of Westland-Wilsonville District, but Wilsonville is its own high school, and it is a phenomenal school and one to check out if you're thinking about moving to Wilsonville. And my second con would be that it's only a 5A school. So the big schools are 6A in Oregon. This is a 5A school, so it doesn't have as much notoriety as the big schools. I think that plays to both ways. It's a smaller school, small school feel, lots of opportunities, but it doesn't play with the big boys of the 6A, and they don't get the same idea about the state titles or the mock trials or the theaters. It's always the smaller 5A group. So a pro and a con kind of munched together. Yes, I love the school system. I've worked in the school system there in a different capacity, and I really feel like Wilsonville is a strong school. If you're looking for a big school feel, though, or you're looking to have your kids be top of the heap in the 6A group, this isn't the school for you. So that'd be my pro-con kind of mixed together. My third pro is the accessibility to Wilsonville. Right off I-5. It is easy to get to Portland, 15, 20 minutes. It's right, it's at the junction for I-5 and 205, so it's easy to access the airport. You're about 20, 25 minutes from the airport. You can go, I'll do a map video of Wilsonville, but the skiing is right there. You can head to wine tasting within 30 minutes down south towards, or west towards like McMinnville. The beach is an hour and a half from Wilsonville. So the accessibility to Wilsonville is a huge strength. I love that because it's easy to get to. It has a Costco and a Target, which is also great. But the accessibility and the livability of Wilsonville is my third pro. It's really one of the easiest places to get to. Jam that up with a con, though, the traffic. I'm telling you, that traffic on 205 and I-5 into Wilsonville, it jams up. It jams up into Wilsonville, and then it gets better as you're heading south and heading towards Salem, Aurora, that kind of thing. But in Wilsonville itself, during the rush hours, it's really tight, and I-5 gets really backed up, and it's really rough. So twofold for reasons why. It comes off of a 205 that's going 70 miles an hour, and so it stops traffic because it slows down, but also the amount of people that are trying to get through Wilsonville, going into Portland, or going down to Salem. Either way, it's just kind of a joke. So the traffic is a mess, but the accessibility is great. There's my third pro and con. My fourth pro is cost of living. Wilsonville has a range of availability for houses to buy, anywhere from $300,000 all the way up into the millions. It definitely runs the gamut, but there is houses for every price range. There's new construction, old construction, big lots, small lots, townhomes, condos. It's got everything. So my fourth pro is that you can buy a house in Wilsonville, and anywhere you buy, you're going to be close to things, and it's a good purchase because it continues to go up by at least 3%. Wilsonville is a hot area at this point, so it's really great that the range of houses is available. Now, my fourth con, though, is that boy, are we building some houses that are expensive on smaller lots because of the density. And I talked about that in the small town feel. But this is my concern, is that they're building a ton of houses out there, which are great. New construction is great, and I can take you through all of those houses and drive you around and take you to places. But there are smaller lots on those new construction homes. Some of the older homes, they have bigger lots in Wilsonville that they have grandfathered in. And some of those lots are even dividable. So there's lots of opportunity in Wilsonville. You just have to look for it. But the cost of living in Wilsonville, like I said, runs the gamut. There's always a place for us to find something for you in Wilsonville, which I love, which is like I said, my fourth pro. My fifth pro is crime. Lower crime in Wilsonville, definitely well patrolled. So Wilsonville has a City of Wilsonville police department, and they are part of Clackamas County Sheriff's Office. They're a subdivision of it. It has amazing response times. They are present. There is a school resource officer that's available in the high schools and the middle schools. I'm letting you know that the crime there is under control and pretty low, actually. I've been part of the law enforcement community out there before, and it's very well handled. That being said, there have been some newer things because we're on the I-5, right? Wilsonville's on the 5. And there's lots of things that go on with, some drug dealing that comes up, and some crime that's trickling down out of Portland and up from Salem. So there is some crime. If you look it up, there's going to be some bigger events. But at the end of the day, crime in Wilsonville actually is low. So that's my fifth pro. My fifth con is, you could definitely look at the crime and see that there's been some ups and downs in it lately, but that's just a foldover from, or a carryover from, other areas. Wilsonville in general is extremely safe. It's a beautiful place to live, and I believe that the police force out there is top notch, and they're doing everything they need to do. So that's kind of my top 5 pros and cons. Again, small town, great schools, the cost of living is fabulous. You've got great accessibility, and you've got low crime. I mean, really, what are you asking for better than that? It's the full picture right out there. Now that you've stayed around, I want to tell you a little bit about my secrets, about the secret about Wilsonville. Let's get into that right now. So, a little known fact is that Damish State Hospital, which was the mental hospital known as the Insane Asylum in the old days, that was opened in 1961, was in Wilsonville, Oregon. It was closed in 1995, and there was a huge controversy about what they were going to put there. Was going to be the new women's prison, which is in Wilsonville, but not at this site. And after a lot of back and forth, the Damish Hospital became the Villebois huge residential area. So all the houses in Villebois are on the Damish State Hospital site. There's been lots of tales about that. There's lots of tales about ghost stories and about what's happening up there, but kind of a cool little fact that the state hospital was in Wilsonville. They closed it in 95, and now it's a huge residential area with schools and that kind of thing. So just a little bit of a fun fact. the part of that we talked about, the women's hospital. Coffee Creek is the state prison, the women's prison, sorry. The state prison that is in Wilsonville. It used to be the women's only prison. Now it's the intake center for all the prisons in the state of Oregon. So anyone that goes to prison then gets vetted through Coffee Creek. That is on over, I can see it driving, off the first exit, and then you take a right, and it's in the back over in the woods, a little bit more towards the Washington County side of things. So I'm just letting you know that Wilsonville in total is fabulous. There are some fun facts which I've shared. I'm really glad you stick around. I'm really glad you talked to us and chatted with us about Wilsonville. If you have any questions, make sure you give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. I'd love to chat with you about Wilsonville. I have lots of thoughts about where we can find great houses for you. There's lots of, like I said, new developments. So I'm excited to share Wilsonville with you. Make sure you hit the subscribe. Make sure that you hit the subscribe and the like and the bell so that you can stay up to date on all things that are important about moving to Oregon and real estate in Oregon. Thanks again. See you soon.